Good morning. It is Thursday, March the 14th, which means tomorrow is the Ides of March.
And the next day is St. Patrick's Day?
17th, which will
17th?
which will be
Sunday.
Sunday.
That's right. Today's Friday.
So you have Saturday night to blow it out if you're one of the many who enjoy St. Patrick's
Have you
Day.
gotten adjusted to the time moving up?
I have. I have adjusted. I'm enjoying the sun still being up at 7:30 at night.
You do? Oh, okay. I'm such an early morning person to get up at 5 and it's dark till 7 I'm having a little hard
Having
time.
some difficulty with it.
Yeah, I do.
You know what else we're having some difficulty with?
Yeah.
We wanted to spend the majority of our time today talking about a certain scam that John did not fall for, obviously, but was involved in. And it's very interesting, the intricacy of this particular scam. So I'll let you.
Yeah, it was so real that it forced me to do action. And it occurred to me as I was thinking about it, how our listeners, our watchers of the video could get sucked into this. On Monday this week, I was at my office, and about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, I got a phone call, and on my cell phone, now it came in on my cell phone, the heading said Guilford County. All right, and so that kind of got my attention. When I said hello, an individual who was well-spoken identified himself as a sheriff deputy with Guilford County, and gave his name, and it was a name that sounded sheriff-like, if there is such a thing. But he spoke very clearly and very well, and he said that I had missed a court date to be a juror. And I said, well, when was that? And they gave me the date. They went through a big rigmarole of my mailing addresses. They knew my mailing addresses. They knew phone numbers. And they said, then what really began to get my attention, they used the Judge Stuart Albright's name, who said that they have a new rule within the clerk of court that if you miss a jury opportunity that you have been summoned for, then you're in a violation and you have a very severe penalty. They described the penalty, and it was a financial penalty that was three-tiered for not being there, for a couple other things, and then they said to me, you have three options. And they went through the options. Now, in this whole discussion, he was very professional. He was very open about it. He wanted to work with me in trying to solve it. And he seemed like that it was real. Well, when I chose my option to try to solve this, that option was I needed to pay a bond, and that was the first flag that went up. I needed to pay a bond and bring it down to a bondsman who then would give me a paper certificate that I could take immediately to the clerk of court. And once I did that, then I could present that back to the bondsman and get my money back. So I wasn't going to.
These were money orders,
yeah,
too,
I
right?
didn't have to lose anything. I just had to get tied up to do something, and I needed to do it right now. Well, the second flag that went up was they said that I had to go to either Harris Teeter, or they referred to another place like a Target, and that seemed odd. And then they used the word kiosk. Well, I shop at Harris Teeter, and I don't know anything about kiosks being there. So when he then said a money order that I needed to get, my third flag went up, and especially when it went up to the level of the penalty I had to pay, which was $3,600. All right, so in this conversation, he switched me to three people. He was a sergeant doesn't matter. It went to a captain who verified what the sergeant was doing. Then the last thing that was such a trip for me, he switched me then to a communication officer who said to me, you need to do this right now. Here's where I want you to go. And you keep the phone on with you. So if you're stopped, I will talk to the sheriff and tell him you are okay. Otherwise, if you're stopped in a traffic violation, you will be arrested because that's the new order by Judge Albright. Now, all this began to come together, but quite frankly, I have to admit to you, it really bothered me. Bothered me, one, to make me think I might have missed a jury duty. Mm-hmm. Bothered me, two, that I wasn't doing my civic duty. And three, have I gotten to the place like some of us wonder about ourselves sometimes, am I just overlooking things and being forgetful? I immediately told them I had to go into a meeting, which was the truth, and they said, well, we'll call you back at 12 o'clock and we'll finalize this. So I hung up. I had to go in my meeting, but I had enough time to do the following. First of all, I called Christy, my wife, and said, do you remember at all me saying this? The answer to that is no. Secondly, I called the sheriff's department, described what had happened, and their response was, you are the fourth person who has had this happen. It is a prank and a hoax. Don't do anything. Well, that made me feel better, but that person at the sheriff's department didn't really want to spend a lot of time talking about it. That's not her job. So she just said, don't worry about it. But I was still so worried about it because of the threat of arrest that I literally took the time to go downtown, to go into the clerk of court, to find somebody, find another sheriff, ask them to describe what's going on, and they verified it was a hoax. Now, this organization had 3 professional people talking to me. Mm-hmm. They sounded real. They used names, Judge Albright, who I personally know. So I knew they were right. They had information about me that a county would have. But then, to kick it all off, they called me back at 12 o'clock and they said, okay, are you coming? You have an appointment with us. If you don't, you're going to be in violation and we're sending the sheriff after you. At that moment is when I blew up on them and I let them know what I really thought about it. And they hung up. And since I have had no further contact. But folks, it was so real. It was so disturbing. It made me actually, in this business, get up, take an hour's time, and go down it to track it down. So I wanted to share it with you to say to you, if you get in anything that sounds fishy like this, and it has to do with money, call us, call somebody and say, call the people that's doing it. Don't give them any information and don't send them any money. Right. It was a disturbing Monday morning for me, but I felt like it's worth sharing it with you. It's out there, and I'm sorry it's out there. These mean, ugly people, but that's the world we're in right now. So there you have it.
There you go.
So
a different kind of video today.
Yeah,
but I think it's just as informative as many of the others in a different way.
If you have any questions, call us. If you want to know anything about your account, let us know. We've been looking at reports, and I have, and I know you have, and the numbers are looking really good. But we do this each and every week. We come to you each and every week because we know it is your money.
And your money matters.
Take care. See you next week.